All right, let's kick into it. We've got Ayyubids versus Abbasids and a Boomer versus Azuma. That's right, MSNDK, the 14-year-old prodigy kid, is going up against the man, the myth, the Bulgin. It is Demu of Team Liquid. Ayyubids versus Abbasids, definitely a matchup that is going to favor MSN, though. Oh, sorry, it's MSN 15 now. I think he was 14 when we first heard about him, right? So 15-year-old MSN from Denmark. And Demu, of course, not living too far away in Sweden. Yeah, this matchup's quite tough, right? Abbasids became favored, I'd say, about 6 months or so ago. At first, when Ayyubids were released, they looked broken against Abbasids due to the fast castle builds, but after some adaptation and realization that 2TC fast castle is just as good for the Abbasids, they started to take the lead. And we are on Golden Pit, by the way, which is another reason why I was intrigued by this. We are currently monitoring the race for first on the leaderboard. Demu is one of the people running for that, by the way. At the time of recording, I believe Demu is sitting in 10th. Yeah, so he slipped from his perch, right? Demu, we're used to seeing him in the top 3 at all times. On the other side, MSN is no pushover, folks. He's ranked 24th in the world right now. That's pretty damn impressive for a 15-year-old. You know what I was doing when I was 15? Calling someone's mum fat in a Call of Duty lobby. Sorry to that person's mum. I'm sure you're just big boned. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool to see. MSN, we've tried to get him involved in a few of our tournaments. I've actually been, like, I've been recommending to him that, you know, just kind of sit down with your parents and give them a presentation on why esports is viable and why you want to have a little bit of a shot at it. Because he's quite a talented player. He does quite well for himself. But sometimes it's hard to convince parents. That, however, is a rookie mistake. Scout coming around the wrong side of the tree line. Doesn't mean he's riding blind. And we already see Demu. He went logistics wing. Okay, this is sick. I've been begging for this. Logistics wing is really cool, guys, because logistics got buffed in Season 8. So logistics wing used to be that you basically just would get the dervishes upon teching up, and then you would be able to heal quicker when you activate the ability. Now they've changed it to be a permanent healing aura with the dervishes. Love the fact that he doesn't risk them. I was looking for them there. He's actually keeping them in the TC so they don't get damaged at all. But now the way dervishes work is that they do, I think they don't any longer have to hit the heal button. They will just exude the aura, kind of like Ottoman imams did. Camelot's just getting preps. MSN. I don't know about this, man. Military wing kind of feels rough. I feel like the eco wing maybe made more sense, but he was clearly worried about Demu fast castling, which is why he opened military wing. I can't believe it. You could say Demu no longer has top 5 under deadlock. No, you have to like spread it out more subtly. You could say Demu no longer has top 5 under lock, and his hopes of getting first in this season are dead. I'm gonna stop. Love the deer gathering on the backside, by the way. When we did used to see a lot of Golden Pit, this is one of the most valuable points. Is like the deer spawns so close that you should be on it. We'll probably see that eventually from MSM, but for the time being, he keeps posturing central-wise. One thing I really do like for Demu here, with this idea of Horseman, something that works really effectively is the fact that he can back off and heal because he has 2 dervishes. I have always believed that feudal healing is a bit ridiculous, and I stand by it. Certain civs getting access to healing and age earlier than others is a huge advantage in the right circumstances. It's all about timing, positioning, right? It's why Abbey of Kings just, you look at it on paper now and how it functions, feels like it's going to be more and more busted until it fundamentally gets changed. It's out going down. A nice pick there, though. So Demu playing a bit blind, but he did go stables, so he can easily fix that issue. One thing that's scary for MSN here is the more he goes into the Horseman, the more rough it could end up getting, because Demu could go in for a Desert Raider. He does at least have the Camel Arch and a few archers to snipe that, but you have to be very micro-focused for that to work out, right? Because if you add in, say, 8 Horsemen to Desert Raiders, the Desert Raiders will make the difference just culling these Horsemen. Villagers on the front side, though. Demu. Caught trying to be a bit greedy on the gathering. Yeah, a little bit surprised we actually haven't seen an outpost defense at all, but I think Demu is worried that MSN might just build rams here and brute force it. Either that or he's worried about clown carring. I've heard MSN has been known to occasionally hop in and out and shake it all about when he gets his hands on a rat. Think some people maybe saw a recent VOD known what I'm talking about. Winky face. So Undermesh coming in, so MSN is definitely committing to this age. Demu. This is tricky because he went logistics wing. He doesn't have an eco edge. Usually when you're up against Abbasid and they do this, you go for eco wing because that gives you a free villager lead, which means every minute you're gathering 120 resources extra. Now it's kind of rough because what's happened instead is both of them have activated their golden age, but the Abbasid golden age is better than the Ayyubid one by 5%. So actually MSN is the one with the better economy. Add in fresh foodstuffs as well, which I wouldn't be surprised if he grabbed. He did. And he's saving extra food there as well, right? So, like, Demu needs favorable trades, or he needs to start using these dervish heals between fights. In fact, it looks like that's what it's going to be doing. The dervish is coming over. So here you go, guys. This is what we talked about. You now have this non-stop healing aura around you. It becomes a passive. This is a sick buff. I love that they've done this to the Ayubids, because I've always warned if you over-nerf Eco Wing, they have nothing. I think logistics for either feudal or castle is going to become the meta. It's that bloody good. I actually highly rate the idea of going Eco Wing into logistics. What makes it feel even better as well is when you play a long range like this. Because when the armies get very big, there's just more units to benefit from the saturation heal. The thing that can make dervishes feel weird in a castle rush is you go for the camel lancers, right? And camel lancers are just going to be out and about. So you won't be able to like get that full saturation heal. The logic being is it is a spread heal, right? So if you have 10 units that are all damaged, you're going to see a lot more effective HP healed than if you have 2 units that are damaged. MSN, look at this horseman count. 17 in climbing. Bloomery also being prepped. And Demu has had to start doing the uncomfortable thing which Ayyubid players hate doing. He has, in fact, added in a blacksmiths. It's not until I say it like that you really realize and think back to how rare it is to see Ayyubid players with blacksmiths in Age 2. We've cast players like Kiljadi with 50 archers still not going blacksmiths in Age 2. Just something feels really uncomfortable or unfamiliar for Ayyubid players with the idea of blacksmith decks in feudal. Does make sense once you've got Age 2 at least, right? Because then you've got the research speed, so they come in so fast. I think for a lot of players, that's why they delay it, is because they want to have that second golden age, which will allow them to just rush them later on in the game. So they focus on getting more military mass now, and then coming back for the tech eventually. So we have got that plan deer. Yeah, MSN got a really good spawn here, folks. Double deer stack like this. They both actually got a really good spawn for that reason. Demu got the retracted deer, which was important considering he's being attacked. And MSN got the double deer stack next to each other. That was the 5 and the 3, if I'm not mistaken. So 8 deer in total. I think we've got a tech up on the way, folks. Look at Demu's resources. So probably Eco Wing. You might need Desert Raiders, but I don't think 3 Desert Raiders is going to make enough of a difference here. It's a lot of cav. What would be sick is Trade Wing, but I don't expect him to go for it. Atabegs could also be a pretty cool option here. Just because you can go to Camel Lancers and make them ridiculously bulky. Blacksmith Wing best. Dragovan, I'm sorry, mate. This game's going past 15 minutes. I can't accept your advice. Dragovan, ladies and gentlemen, the original person responsible for the Clankai shenanigans coming to the ladder. MSN has just been kind of following in his footsteps. Yeah, I get the thought behind blacksmiths. I mean, you'll get 2 techs which will immediately come in here, right? But I don't feel like it's as good when you've got Golden Age 2. Because you get the unlock so quick. So as long as you can gather some gold, I don't actually think it matters that much. I think instead you can just rely on getting these techs in 48 seconds. Especially considering MSN kind of went too hard into Horsemen. It's a lot of Horsemen to dive into choke points with. So you won't be able to just fully swarm, right? In theory, Demu should be able to hold some choke points here. And that's really important with this Dervish play. Yeah, this is Rohirrim Riders right now. MSN When was the last time you saw this many horsemen this early in the game? Dervishes are going to start healing it up. Look how effective that is. Demu just needs to pull the archers away. They'll die too quickly. And now the focus fire comes in. MSN, he's getting rid of the healing aura. The horsemen can't hold this. MSN is going to break through. What a timing there. Demu just didn't have the thickness to the front line to hold here. And gets flooded by Cav. MSN, he still has 28 left over. Meanwhile, Demu's army is about to evaporate. Ay, Demu, tech up is almost complete. 45 seconds away, but with so many Cav units, where are your villagers hiding here? He's going to shift them out of the base. Demu just running north side as quickly as he can, but against this many horsemen, a wall will not keep them back for long. This is the Abbasid version of a Mongol horde. Villagers will look to get the gate up, but, I mean, you could just flock around the other side, to be honest with you. Instead, he's going to get the torches out. So MSN, he's not done yet. He won't stop until he's picked Ben to the bone. It's a never-ending run. Who would win, 32 villagers or 20 horsemen? So, guys, the reason why Demu didn't want to go spears is, I mean, one, Ayyubid players, when was the last time you ever saw them build spears? But two, you're against a Abbasid military wing, right? So you know they're probably scaling archers already. It feels detrimental. Guillims have now been queued up, but Demu in a bit of a bind here. The villagers have nowhere safe to be. Nice micro. So he's trying to basically buy time by shifting to the other side of the TC. But with this many cavalry units here, I don't think that would be a good enough, cheesy enough trick to save your villagers. So instead, it's going to shuffle them out towards the south. In the meantime, Gulims have started to spawn here. So MSN's cav count has shrunk. However, his eco lead has extended. Remember, this is after Demu just got 7 more villages. He's still 10 behind. God damn. Not just that, these archers, they don't get a chance to live. I mean, veterans he's being queued up, but there's only 8 of them left here. Ben has practically no income. 70 food a minute, only gold being gathered. And even that has now been intercepted. And credit to Ben for at least getting into textiles to try and minimize losses. MSN, you'd think at this stage someone would just tech up, right? Nope. He's double downing here. More troops on the way. It's kind of interesting, actually. It does make some sense, right? Because otherwise Demu could try to creep relics to get back in this. So you can't just rush an age up. You do need to keep pressuring. So with 15 horsemen, that should buy him enough time. In fact, the first Gulims are going to get the crap kicked out of them. Yeah, he was able to kill, what, 3 horsemen? Maybe 4, actually. So that was technically a good trade for Demu. But that was also his only threatening units in the game, so he probably has to be careful about where he positions again. MSN. Now going into the Rams. After all this, he's not done. He's getting ready for Age 3, but he's also still looking to apply more pressure. Which makes sense. He kind of needs to. Look at where he is on the map. MSN is playing out into flank resources. If he fully falls back now, his villagers have to fall back as well, because camel lancers are coming. All right, what do you think, guys? And what is up, boy? Thank you very much for the resub, buddy. 5 months. Welcome back. So, Eco Wing on the way. Do you guys think Demu wins this or MSN? 1's for Demu, 2's for MSN. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, type it down. Type it in the comments. Make a prediction. Go on, live a little. I mean, living a little is living more than Demu is living right now. He looks dead. Horseman once again. Oh my god, he's in a perpetual state of running here. I think it's time for Demu to retire as a professional Age of Empires 4 player and pick up a career as a marathon runner. Rams also able to start hitting into the Raxus, so that's just going to shrink the ability for Gulims to mass up here. I'm wondering, is this going to be like one of those delayed free TC type plays? Feels rough that... Oh my dear god. We can all relate to MSN, can't we? No one wants to have to look back at their TC. Just mash the Q key until you've got carpal tunnel. So Demu, he hasn't gone back for the Moss. There we go. I was about to say, it's his only play here. You can't get into a TC race against Abbasids from this position. You're expecting either Eco Wing or Culture Wing, which means A, they're attacking, or B, they're greeting. So if you go into multi-TC, you're not defending yourself, and you're not attacking either. It's a big no-no. How's Demu still alive? Because MSN built 34 Horsemen in Fuel Age. Blitzkrieg, what the hell are those puns? Wait, is that why Demu is so good on water? Because he has liquid in them? Maybe. So tech up is complete, and we don't see a counter-attack coming out from Demu. He's just kind of chilling back here. That's rough, though. Luckily for him, it's not going to be Eco-Wing into multi-TC. Unluckily for him, it's going to be a relic race. MSN wants them to. Camel Riders also on the way. Guys, we had someone earlier asking the question, what wins, Camel Riders or Camel Lancers? And we firmly said, Camel Riders destroy Camel Lancers. You're going to get to see it. It's actually not even close. And also, keep in mind, you can make it even more one-sided because there is a tech, which is fairly reasonable, actually, on its cost in the stables. 275 resources to get 3 extra melee armor on those Camel Riders. Here you go. 270 HP, 14 base damage versus 22 base damage and 210 HP. It's not even close. Camel Riders absolutely brutalize Camel Lancers. It's Archimass just trying to trade out against his counterpart. They can't really deal with the camels. Love this from MSN. Golems plus Camel Riders is a very difficult comp for Demu to answer. His only real answer would be to go Spearman, but then you've got to deal with the double strike of the heavily armored units. On a weaker economy as well. It's just not really a recipe for success here. Demu does at least buy the time to go for relics. 1 home, 2 more on the way in. However, the amount of army he's losing is somewhat worrying here. He has at least got the correct read. He's going into the crossbows. Mamluk's Bravery is also on the way. It looks like MSN is not investing in additional Camel Riders now that the Lancers have been dispatched. So MSN, he's also prepping the TCs we talked about. 1's coming up. 2, it's a free TC. Yeah, this is so cost efficient. Remember, with Fertile Crescent, you save 70% of what a TC would cost to build free TCs. As in build 2 and go free TC. So really powerful play there. We finally got the Dervishes back into the action. Healing is helping out a little bit. However, the problem right now is Demu's kind of in a perpetual state of retreat. Never really able to exploit that healing because MSN just keeps diving him. MSN was doing all that before even having the archer upgrades. That's now going to be on the way. Imagine we'll be looking at composite bows here. This is the crafty comp he's leaned into. Because Demu's gone full ranged, if you now just go into composite bow archers, Abbasids are 100% favored. Demu doesn't have many other options, right? You can't realistically go into mass lances. Golems are expensive with food as well. And Ben is only about 18 farms deep. And this transition pains me to my core, man. Do we have any Ayyubid mains in the chat? Be honest, is there anything more painful than the farm transition in your game? I feel like that is the most uncomfortable phase of the game for Ayyubid players in particular. Everything else feels chill, feels kosher. Earlier in the game, you feel really good. Your Castle Rusher feel great. Playing for relics feels great. Imperial and Fury is great if you can get there. But the biggest hurdle is getting the farms online. Your farm transitions with China are more painful? Why? What are you doing? You like trying to draw genitalia with your farm placement? Chinese have a great time with farm transitions. What are you on about? Just do the Marine Lord, stockpile 3,000 wood, and then switch. Okay, I actually disagree with French is worse, and here's why. French will, over the course of 20 minutes, have additional villagers to afford that transition. They will have saved resources on ecotech, all these other things. The only thing the Ayubids get to kind of help that is the golden age of 10%, which sounds like a lot. But for a Civ that's just 1 TC until much later in the game, it's not great. And also, French should have an earlier presence to snipe eco and build a bigger lead, right? Whereas Ayubids have to wait until castle. Demu. He's 1 relic off the 5, 4 already at home, but this one looks like it might get blocked. So this is actually big. He needs this. He's so far behind on villager count. This is the only way he can kind of scrape back in. It's still an uphill battle though, folks. Demu, however, has given himself a late game bounce back. If he is able to stock up to 140 eco, he will have the advantage in terms of the relics. At least for a bit. Because the thing about the Abbasids is improved processing. That 8% increase in economy makes it very hard for Ayyubids to compete 4-star. I do, however, think that Desert Raiders, mass Desert Raiders in late game can be an effective tool. But we're talking about it as if it's going to reach an hour long and we're going to be that deep. We're in a map with no trade. Gold is central bound. I don't think we're going that far in. Golden Pit is a hard map to drag out, especially when you're outnumbered like this. Gulam's just diving in. The mangoes get some good wallops in, but not enough. MSN just floods in. And what you're seeing right there is the power of the mass archers. Composite bows about to get added in. They've already got the boot camp. So if you're already losing the fight without composite bows, good luck now. MSN, this might just end the game. Archers retreating towards the farms. He has at least got the Mamluk's bravery, but considering you end up usually shooting the same unit, you're not going to see 5 units glow up all of a sudden. It's more like 1 or 2. And that's why composite bows is so favored over Mamluk's bravery. The clash isn't even close, right? Like, if you thought that composite bows versus poison arrows was one-sided, just watch this. Demu pretty much make his last stand here on the farms. Archers are going to be able to just finish him off. The Gulams not buying enough time. They're trickling out to their death. Second wave also on the way in towards the tree line. He might have 4 relics, but he hasn't got a shot in hell of coming back into this now. 52 to 98 economy. Demu is about to be beaten by someone less than half of his age. Which is not hard. I mean, Demu is 56 years old, so, you know, we didn't sit there. Okay. I actually can't remember how old Ben is. I think he's like 34, 35. Let me put this another way, guys. Ben is about to be beaten by someone closer to his child's age than him. Okay, it sounds kind of depressing when you put it like that, doesn't it? These whippersnappers are getting too quick. MSN, love this player though. Like, mass horseman to that degree is just absurd. I think that might be the first time I've seen someone flood 40 horsemen into an Ayyubid player. It's so unorthodox, man. Like, players quite often don't like bulking that many horsemen. Abbasids do it in some matchups, sure, but it's like a prolonged back and forth. Against Ayyubid specifically, this is definitely a first. Aye. And now, thirsty for wood. Demu is going to get absolutely spanked here. Archers on both sides. 43 villagers versus 108. Screw it, he says. EA clicks in. And that is as good as you just waving the white flag. What a cool game, though. Let me know what you guys think about MSN if you want to see more of him here. He's been making a little bit of a name for himself. As we said, 24th in the world at the time of recording. A very talented kid from Denmark. We have already got the kid from Denmark in Voldemar. This right here we refer to as the baby. The toddlers being Dragavan and Gully Deckle. That's right. So what I'm basically saying here is Demu just got beaten by a baby. He doesn't seem to want to accept it, though. Yes, MSN's the baby, folks. Wait, and then, kind of like the poker brat, when he grows up, if he ends up being a molder, we get to call him the brat. Oh, we've got it all figured out. For now, though, all behold, the baby is born. Oh my god. They both have the same haircut as well if they're a baby. Anyway, I'm going to move forward. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.